So Clinton, when we talk about flexible working and this whole concept of it's to do with how many hours a week you're working, your start time, your finish time, where you're working, do you think that that's the right perception of what flexible working is around hours and location, or do you think it's more than that?
I think that's where a lot of people come at it from, because the first flexibility we typically gave people was you can come in later and leave earlier. You know, the flexi time was probably the first example.
Yeah.
But clearly I think organisations have got to think a lot broader than that, in that if you're really going to optimise flexibility, then you've got to consider other things. So the second thing that people looked at was, so where do you work? You know, so okay, we know about your hours, but you can now work from home. Well, I think organisations are beginning to realise that even that work or home, it might be you work from other locations, which may not be owned by the company, etc. But there's also now, I think, people are looking at flexibility in itself can enable you to be more productive, it can enable you to be more effective. So now I think it should also encompass roles. Yeah. So organisations, I think, who are being much more innovative are looking at, well, if somebody's got something to do and they know somebody else could do that better, but they could do something that other person does better, why don't they swap? So I mean, I think we've got to think now in terms of it's flexibility that is an asset. What can we apply that to?
Oh, okay.
We've always known, for example, core of innovation and creativity is flexibility of thinking. Don't be strapped into how we've always done things. So I think we've got to look at it much broader now, and I think the newer entrants into the workforce expect that, because they're seeing flexibility in education in particular. They're seeing flexibility in the social environment. They're seeing flexibility in how families operate and so on. So they come into the workforce, they expect to have a range of flexibility available to them, not just the hours.